Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Vaesen Behind the Masks. We are joined once again by Jim, Blake, and Sharon. And despite my attempts of having a mountain land on top of them, they've come back for another round. So, last we left them, they tried to trace, well, some of them tried to chase the hook-to-nose man that's been haunting Venice for a while. And somehow, some way, they ended up in the middle of the Alps in winter and came face to face with Queen of Winter herself. And that was before they annoyed her. And she cast them off somewhere into the Italian wilderness once again. Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, it's funny that recap is they chased the plague doctor and they pissed off the Ice Queen. Weirdly enough, both those.
You remember it differently, don't you? No, that's all right.
Yeah.
So you find yourself, as I said, in the middle of a forest. It's not snowy, but it is cold, so you know you're somewhere still seasonally in the same area. It's dark, damp, and all you have are the clothes you were wearing when you got rudely ripped out of Venice and then dumped here.
Can we see any light sources nearby?
The moon and stars in the sky.
Wonderful. I presume I was given some survival training as part of being in the military for 5 years. So
I very much think you would have.
I'll try and start a fire.
Yep, sure. Start.
At that time in the military, they probably threw you in and went, oh well, too bad if you freeze.
Yeah, but I was in for a few years, so I figured I must have picked something up because I didn't die. Or did I?
Yeah, so give me a survival roll, please.
I also want to know what Artemisia's opinion is. I'll be like, who was that power? She just pulled us from the city. I've never seen anything like it.
Nor have I, but I wonder if that was the Samblanca, primal goddess of winter, of the season. If it was her, she is one of the most powerful Vaesen on this world. She is winter, and she is downright terrifying. You were lucky to escape with your life.
Well, that is slightly premature because I have no bloody idea where we are as I'm like looking around.
Nor do I.
I didn't pack any rations for my trip down to the restaurant.
I got one success, so I'm thinking maybe I found a bit of a hill we can sort of stay out of the wind behind or whatever, like a windbreak.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's one success is all you needed. You go find, there's a stream somewhere nearby, you can hear it. So you make your way to the stream, so you know you've got water, shelter, easy. There's a tree that's come down, it's partly hollowed out. You can go inside this log.
Break off some of the other branches and lay them over to, try and get us as much
and you can
shelter out of the wind as we can.
Yeah, and you can get a fire started. And it's not too windy, actually, because the way the forest is, it actually does protect you from the wind. So it's just more keeping warm, really, than anything else. And you've all had a belly full of food, so you're good for food for tonight.
I mean, Bennett looks at Severino building this, setting this up, and he's like, so this is what we're doing. Sleeping in like a hollowed out log.
It's night. We could easily get lost and make things worse.
Bennett's like looking around, certainly not keen.
I'm sorry. What else do you want me to do?
No.
You hear a wolf howling in the far distance.
No, I apologize. No, you're doing well. I'm just, God, it's Yes. No. Thank you for finding this. And uh, are you well, Miss Hartwell? I noticed you froze, so to speak. It's very hard not to make a pun.
I am as well as can be expected, young man. I perhaps am at least better dressed for this climate than you are.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, finally, Bennett's refusal to stop wearing like English formal wear is probably paid off. He's got a few layers on, but he's certainly not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Agatha has like about 10 dozen woolen petticoats on because that's
Yeah.
what they do at this time period.
Correct.
I'm going to say, so I was like checking the weapons in the armory, and then everything started to shake and everything went cold, and then suddenly I like fell through the floor. Is that something like what happened to you? And were you in the same place? Were you out in the street? Where were you when you were before you came here?
Well, I was actually chasing a gentleman in the get-up of that plague doctor that we had heard. We saw somebody. It could very well have just been some kid, you know, jumping aboard the excitement surrounding it. But nevertheless, I was trying to approach him, and next thing I know, it was just like I misstepped and I was on the mountaintop, which is the most bizarre sentence that I've ever said out loud.
Artemisia and myself were watching the doctor approach this man when the doctor suddenly disappeared.
Were you in an alley, or were you by the river, or
We
were you
were by the canal.
right?
I just do wish that poor Artemisia, dear, you had been able to return to the villa as I had hoped while I went after the doctor. Alas, that does not seem to have been allowed by our hostess.
Well, thank you for trying to save me. But no, apparently I'm one of you.
Yes, I hope we didn't forget Vittorio up there.
Yeah, Victoria.
No, he wasn't near me when it happened. We had a
Thank goodness.
quiet dinner together. We chatted for a while, and then I think he was going to bed with a book. So I believe he's okay.
Good. No, this wouldn't be good.
Fortunately, perhaps the incident at the armory seemed to be centered on me. So, and he wasn't near me, so I'm pretty sure he's okay.
Dinos Fuertes, thank goodness.
But I think he's a survivor. He'll be okay.
And I do believe that if he had been captured in this manner as well, that he would be with us.
Yes, you're right. You are right, Agatha. Thank you.
So, I mean, it seems self-evident, but I suppose whatever protections the villa has do not include goddess of winter protections.
I don't think anything could protect you from that.
I have been reading in the Society's archives, and part of the goal of the Society is to serve Vaesen as much as it is to protect Vaesen from harm and humans from harm by Vaesen. So it does stand to reason that whatever magics protect the villa would allow...
So it's easier for her to affect us there, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Or find us.
if she did not mean us, as I do not believe she did, any true harm, it is not us who she is angered by.
I've seen some of the effects.
It was not previously us she was angered by.
I have seen some of the effects of grief, and Vaesen, god or not, she's clearly. Okay, this is Bennett talking. Is clearly hysterical.
You know what? It's the right use of the word in that context, in that era.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yep.
Well, Bennett, you do have a way with hysterical young women, it seems.
My point simply being that, you know, her grasp on, you know, you cannot trust someone who is in such extreme emotional distress to act with caution. When you include godlike powers into the equation, it could be catastrophic. I'm not saying that we should not be helping her. Of course, what's happened to her and the other Vaesen is tragic, but does that mean we shoot a man in the back of the head because she says so?
If necessary, but as I said, you don't have to be involved.
And I do believe, Doctor, that any man who is complicit in any way in hurting any of God's creatures, and that does include the Vaesen, is probably also complicit in some devious and dastardly acts against his fellow humans. I am sure that there must be some legal trouble that we can place the young man in, or the old man. Or it could perhaps be a woman, she didn't state.
No, she didn't state much of anything. I don't even know if this culprit is in Venice, for all I know.
I thought she did say man. I was trying to remember. She said hunters, and this man is like the best of them all, or something.
Perhaps, actually, that does ring a bell.
But did she mean man as a species? Or is that too much of a philosophical discussion for this
That's
situation?
the difficulties with conversing with gods. Artemisia, is there some rule of law to the Vaesen society at large?
What do you mean?
How do you govern yourselves as a proper Britishman? Do you have a flag?
A flag? No, we.
No, sorry, that was a joke.
Where's your Magna Carta, good man?
Yeah, exactly. What? Yeah.
The society has an oath that binds us to the work that we do.
But does that mean that we can slay a Vaesen indiscriminately without, proof and thorough due process?
If you slay a Vaesen who is not harming humans, you're no better than a normal person. Or even worse, those members of society who are sworn to destroy all Vaesen, good and evil. And as a result, you are in direct conflict with the society. The society is sworn to protect Vaesen who do no harm or protect us. But we are also sworn to protect humankind. That is a very narrow bridge to cross, but we cross it as best as we can.
I thought that's what the Wounded Queen was saying, that this guy just hunts any of them for fame and fortune. It's not about them doing anything wrong.
That's what I understood as well.
Yeah, I think Bennett's just struggling with, how do you prove that they deserve it, right? We have all these laws in our land, and to be honest, he probably does not doubt that if not this man exists, that there are certainly others.
Bennett is very British.
Exactly. He has one character trait, and that is that he's British.
British.
He's two. He's British, and he's got father issues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think at that point Bennett will sit down and just around the fire. Did we say we had a fire? Yeah.
Yes, you were able to start a fire, and it's crackling merrily, and you're keeping warm.
Well, I suppose we are putting the cart quite before the horse. Our first task will be to find out where we are.
Cool. I guess you guys are going to turn in for the night.
Yep.
So you all grab a piece of log.
Not just yet. I'm going to get some of the smaller branches and then just kind of scatter them in like a circle around, so if anything approaches it should snap them and wake us up.
Perfect. Yep, you do that. It takes you about half an hour, but there's plenty of branches. It's a lot of pine and birch, so there's a lot of dry, crackly wood, so you're able to find what you need and set up.
I'm going to sleep in my plate mail, so just in case of the combat. Sorry, wrong game.
Yes. You are. Trust me, you're British, so your tweed jacket
Yeah.
is ostensibly plate mail.
Yeah.
Yep. So you guys all spend a night. It's not comfortable, but you're warm. You've got shelter, so it does pass peacefully. And eventually, dawn rises and darkness gives way to light. It's actually quite a nice forest if you negated the fact that you didn't know where the hell you were, and yeah, you're lost.
Nature has that way of being very nice if you're not being killed by it.
Very much.
Okay, so we'll see which way the sun comes up, so we can get an east-west bearing,
Yep.
and from that a north-south bearing.
You can do that. Yep, sunrise is over there.
Okay.
Yep, the tree's north over there.
So, and we're in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Are we making the assumption that we are in the Alps? Like, you know,
Yeah, I don't think she's taken us to Russia or anything. I think it would have been nearby. Otherwise, why find us? She would have just grabbed another bunch of the order nearer to her, you know? So,
Well,
and based on that, try and figure out where we are. Where are the Alps in relation to Venice?
basically, the Alps extend across from the north of Venice all the way across the top of Italy and down the kind of middle of it in a spine.
So we need to go south to get to Venice. I would think.
Yeah, we need to go south and see what we come across.
Generally, you should go downhill following a watercourse.
Yeah.
Something I have
In the mountains? That's a bit harder than you think. But yes.
Put on
So,
sneakers and good to go.
we've got comfortable footwear. So you have a direction, you have a bearing, you're going to head south, which is fine. So south side is a bit woody, but you kind of make your way through. Severdine, I assume you're going to go first, given
Yeah.
you're probably better trained and you can make a bit of a path, trail breaker that you are. And then Bennett, Artemisia, and Agatha could follow along behind. And yeah, you make your way southward. There's no paths that you can see, so you are off-roading it. And you do find yourself scrambling over rocks and downed trees and up and down streams. It's rough going. It's not easy. It's rough going. It takes hours, really.
I think as we're like you know getting over a particularly rough patch, Bennett is like, the only thing keeping me going right now is thinking how much Lady Adelaide would have hated this as she was with us.
She would have spewed. But in some ways, even though it is really hard going, it's also nice. You can hear birds chirping in the trees. It's the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves. You come across clusters of little blueberries or bilberries that you can pick and eat as you go, and the mountainside is laden with them. So despite all that, in some ways it's kind of nice.
Yeah. So I'll get the blueberries and say, you know, have some now, put some in your pocket for a bit later.
Definitely. All right. So you have been hiking half a day by now. Let's say lunch has kind of come and gone. You haven't stopped for lunch. You're hoping, and we're going to assume you're kind of hoping for a path before you.
Well, if not a path, then a place where we can look out and look around. So.
Yeah. So you come down off a little hill, and then you've got a bit of a mountain in front of you. But you can see that the mountain's a bit exposed, so it might give you the advantage that you're looking for. And you kind of traipse along, and you're heading towards the base of this mountain to start climbing. Can everyone give me a observation roll, s'il vous plaît? Okay, nothing for Severino,
My luck continues.
nothing for Agatha. What about you,
I got
Jim?
1 success.
One success, so Mr. Oblivious. As you go to the base of that hill and you start climbing up, you find a path. It's not a great path. It's a very narrow, dusty path, but you find a path. And happy days. It's heading up. And you follow that. And as you round a few corners, up ahead, you see a man and he's staggering up the path. You're coming from behind him and you see that he's got a rifle and he's using the rifle as a bit of a crutch because he's limping really, really quite badly. He has a leather pack slung across his back. And he's just going up this hill with that single-minded grim determination that you get. What do you
I'll
do?
jog towards him. And Metallion say, hey, wait up.
Wait up. This young man turns around and he's kind of a bit startled by your presence. You can very, very plainly see that. His right leg is covered in blood. He has a bloody linen wrapped around it, and it's absolutely saturated. He's dripping blood from that wound onto the ground. He's
I say,
grunting.
are you okay? What happened?
Oh, Signora, I wasn't expecting anyone. Thank goodness you're here.
We got lost. I thought I might ask for directions, but it looks like you need help more than we do.
He's actually quite a cherubic, beautiful face, but it's marred because it's half of it is quite badly bruised and swollen, and there's a graze that goes from his temple down halfway down his cheek, and there's blood. And I was hunting boar in the forest. It's full of them, and I didn't shoot too well, and the damn thing gored me. Can you help me?
I think at this point,
I kind of
Bennett
wave
is
to
like,
the doctor and
yeah, Bennett's like half crawling behind him, like, oh my god, damn heals never end.
I
He's
just
sort
say,
of-
doctor.
And then he goes, oh my god, sir. And he will like rush forward and like take a seat on this rock, and he sort of like gestures him down and goes, well, sir, I'd say you're either the luckiest man in the world or the unluckiest that you've just managed to stumble upon a doctor in these wilds.
God provides.
Close. And then I will start looking, having a go at seeing how bad the damage is, and I still have my doctor's bag because I
Death grip.
Haven't been home yet.
exactly, I don't know.
Well, give me a medicine roll as he kind of sits down on the rock, and you can see he's like, if he's in pain, and when he sits down, it's like, oh.
Does it look like animal wounds, or does it look like he's been shot or something? I mean, is it?
Do you want to give me a medicine roll as well, please?
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, what's this? That would be funny if I got more than you. No. You've hunted boar before?
I pull out a bullet. Did this boar have a machine gun?
Oh, was it just happy to see you? Okay, so Bennett, you've got him seated down. You pull out your doctor's bag and all of its little accoutrements, and you clean and dress the wound to the best of your ability with what you have on hand, and you cut away the fabric, and you can see it and examine it properly. And he's not going to die of this injury, but it's going to be painful. It's going to leave a wicked scar, but provided there's no infection, he'll live to fight another day. And as part of your what you do when you assess someone. You kind of generally conduct a survey across his entire body, and you see that he has a small tattoo of a black rose on the inside of his left arm, just above the wrist. He also has, you see, a gold chain poking out from underneath his collar, but little else on him beyond some money and obviously the wounds that I described earlier. And as you bind up the leg wound, you can tell which side of the leg was the entry hole and which was the exit hole. And you kind of notice that the wound tract starts higher than it ends. So the wound is going at a downward trajectory, if that makes sense. And as you're treating him, he's not actually going to look at you and what you're doing with his leg because, you know, it's not going to be pretty. You could look at you, Severino. You were saying you were lost?
Yeah.
He
We're trying
has
to find our way back to town.
He has this weird expression as if really lost. You know you're in the mountains to the northwest of Florence, right?
Well, perhaps we can be honest with our new friend and say it not so much lost as kidnapped and left.
Oh, that sounds like you had a story. Doctor, that hurts.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have quite a story to tell. Where are you heading to? Florence?
So what did he said? We're northwest of Florence. Is that right?
You are in the mountains northwest of Florence.
Yeah, we're going to Venice. That's where we're from.
Venezia.
Well,
Deal. That's a journey. You're halfway across the country.
I do still have my house in Florence if we do need a respite on our journey.
At this, Bennett is going to stop his work, and he's going to say, "How far from Venice? Like, if we were walking, how long would it?"
Walking. Che pazzi. You're mad. It would take you weeks to walk to Venice.
And I think accidentally he like squeezed on the wound slightly.
Ah!
Sorry.
Good doctor, we can catch a train from Florence.
Yes.
I do not believe the good doctor is suited to the outdoors. He's losing his sensibilities.
Yes. Well, a lot of insensible things have happened lately. As he just goes back to focusing on the leg injury.
Mm. And he looks at you as a bit more weary, but he's like,
Was he? I'll ask him. Because let's assume I heard how he got the injury. Where exactly were you hunting this boar?
I got injured first thing this morning, so mountain away over there. And that path that he was on, he points back.
And explain to me the attack. The boar charged you downhill?
I don't know. It was all a mess.
I think he's lying. Can I roll observation? I'm looking for like a facial tick or something.
Empathy? It's all empathy.
Damn it. No, I'm gonna, what do you call it? Push it. So yeah. Damn it.
Take a stress.
Sounds legit.
Tart legit. He indicates the path that he's on and the direction that you're all heading. This will take you to the nearest village of Bobadilla. It's about a day's walk from here. That's probably your best bet. And from there, you can get a carriage to Florence. And from Florence, the train to Venice. Doctor, thank you. Yeah. And he pulls out his backpack, and inside the backpack, There's some pretty basic food in there. There's some bread, cheese, and salami. But it's not a lot of provision, but he gives you what he has.
I think like Bennett can't help but smile and be like, "What do you think you're doing? You're going to like where do you um you're going to need escorting, right? You're going to need help, and when you get to where you're going, is there medical services?"
Yes, my sister can look after me. She knows. She's dealt with these things before.
And who is going to deliver you to your sister, young man? You cannot walk on that injury.
I down on one mountain. What's 3 more? He looks at you and gives you this smile, and that's cherubic. There's a little bit of the rascal in it. He's like, I'm strong. I can do this. I can do this all day. I can do this now for many days, thanks to you, Doctor.
Push him down the mountain. Okay, so
Can I just pull Artemisia aside, out of earshot, and ask her if she knows? He told us where we were,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming the name of the village, or at least a general area.
Yep, Ovaglio. Yep.
Agatha is erudite, and if I can pass a learning test, I can establish truths about places and phenomena in the game. You may know about that a certain location is renowned for glassblowers, or a gang of criminals operates in the area, yada yada. The game master judges what is appropriate.
Okay.
So, I guess I try a learning roll. Oh, I finally got a success.
Yes.
Yay! What is it appropriate for Agatha to know about this particular area of
Dear Elders Higher. This area to the northwest of Florence and Bobbio is actually not very well inhabited. It's quite sparse. There's a few, it's kind of a forest area that sits between the city of Florence, and then there's the coast, and this is kind of the area in between. It's a bit of a no man's land. It's not suitable for farming. So you might get some small freeholds here and there, but the land itself really can't be. It's mountain. It's really hard to tell and to do that. Borgoglio is known for its cheese, but more the ghost cheese than anything else. Does it have anything else to sit with it? No. So although you did well, it's a country town.
I'll say I was
sparsely populated and famous for cheese.
I'll say to him, I was in the military. You want me to have a look at your gun? Can I have a quick look?
Kind of. Sure.
But I'm leaning close to look anyway, so I can at least see it.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if this was the sort of gun you would actually use against Boar, or was he talking out of his ass, or just not know about guns?
He'll give you the gun. Like
Right.
you've done him a good thing. He's got no reason to doubt your sincerity. So
Is it in good condition? Is it got like silver bullets or something really sus?
it's
the entire Bible engraved on the handle.
No, like it's a really well made gun, but it's about 50 years old. So it's almost a hexagonal ball, if that makes sense. Or is it? No, I think it's a hexagonal ball. So it's probably one of the early guns out there, but it's in good nick. He looks after it. Yes, there are some dents and scuffs in it, but it seems to be in very good condition for what it is. The caliber of it is it good enough for a ball? It's probably a little bit under. You'd expect if you're going ball hunting to have a slightly more powerful gun. You can do it. This gun will be serviceable, but you have to be a bloody good shot with it. So
Yeah, well, I'll check it out with all my That's
Yeah.
not like someone checking out any other gun, but then I'll sort of say, oh, it's in good condition. You might want something a bit bigger, though, if you're going to fight boar in future. Hopefully, this doesn't happen again. Hand his gun back.
No, I think once is more than enough. Look, my sister's coming to pick me up. If you want, we can continue walking. She'll meet me tomorrow on the road to Borboglio. I'm more than happy to help you walk out of here if you wish.
Did we get his name? Well, okay, so
And he goes,
I'll introduce myself, Dr. Theodore Bennett. Extend a bloody hand towards him.
He takes his eagerly bloody hand and shakes it. I'm so sorry. Please excuse my manners. My name's Cesare. Thank you, Doctor, for helping me. And you, sir?
Oh, Severino, and they just sort of nod.
Monsieur? Signore? And Signora, and he looks at you, Agatha, and he flashes Artemisia and even cheekier smile. Is she your daughter? Signorina, you look beautiful.
Should just give him the, that narrowed-eyed kind of. I don't know what you're up to, young man, but I don't believe it, and I'm not having any of it.
I have offended you, Signora. I am deeply, deeply sorry. Please accept my apologies.
Who did he say is whose daughter?
Said Artemisia was Agatha's daughter.
Oh, perhaps I should have never look at your head. You may have a concussion. Many questions for this man, but none that my character would know about.
Too many questions, never enough time. And he
Agatha
kind of,
is just naturally suspicious.
of course,
Yeah.
that's Agatha. Cesare is like, we must keep moving if we're going to make the crossroads in time. He takes the gun from and levers himself back onto his feet. So tell me, why are you here? Anyway, you said you were kidnapped and dumped here? Goodbye.
Strange sense of humour, our Miss Hardwell.
Okay.
And yet,
A noble
and yet
lady
a better
who
lie
played
is
a
not
game with
coming.
us. We didn't appreciate the game, and we're just trying to go home now.
Yes, we've been given the runaround.
Well, if you go the way I said before, you'll be home in about 4 or 5 days. It's not too far. If you wish, you're more than welcome to follow me. Otherwise, I thank you for your time and assistance. And he shoulders his pack on again and
Don't
So
be
do we need to-
foolish, young man.
Yeah.
The
Do we need to
doctor
head in
and
the same direction?
Severino will assist you.
not for a day. It's okay. I can walk just slow. But yes, this path where I'm going is towards Borboglio. And then that's how you can get home.
Yeah.
Unless you would rather just continue to walk in the forest. You are neither prepared
We'll go
or
with him.
equipped to do it. Yeah, so he starts taking that path that you were originally going to take anyway, and it's a slow walk for him. He's in pain, but he kind of just grits his teeth and bear it, and he tries to pass the time with a bit of general chit chat.
So you and your sister are locals to this area?
We travel a little bit. We're just here for a while. We'll move on somewhere else, I guess. Now I have to recover. I might go back home for a while and see my mother, see how she's going.
I assume not to I assume based on how we met, hunting is not your primary profession. And I say Bennett says that a little jokingly, like.
Have you ever battled a boar, Doctor?
Yes, but not one that was an animal.
And he laughs at that because you're funny. You're very funny. Boars are notorious, very, very difficult to put down. They
So
will.
you are a hunter.
I'd like to think of myself as one, yes.
You've hunted
hunt-
other things like quail or pheasants or just
Of
boar?
course. I must live. I must eat, must I? The forest is full of food. You just have to know how to catch it.
And that is the limit of your hunting?
Meaning what, Senora? I'm not break no laws.
Oh, I am just
The
not
greatest
sure as
game
to
of all.
I'm not sure as to the manner of game in this area of the country. And she's looking at him suspiciously.
Oh, there's rabbit, there's pheasant, there's deer, there's boar, there's
She's just going to look at him like directly and go, and forest spirits, of course.
Like I said, strange sense of humor.
But does he react in any way, shape, or form?
it does slightly. It kind of looks at you and he's not taken aback. He just darkens ever so slightly. And he goes, Senora, you say some unusual things.
Well, you know what they say about women of advanced age.
Anyway, what is his reaction to Artemisia and vice versa during all this? I mean, she does not look obviously Vaesen. And I guess if you don't have the sight, you wouldn't be able to see it at all. Is that how that works?
No, she's visible to most people because she's only half Vaesen, so she's visible.
Even the like if a normal person saw her legs, they would be like, that is weird.
Yeah, if a normal person sees her legs, it'll be something to be a bit off, but they wouldn't be able to identify, understand what it is. It's like that little thing at the back of your head going, no, something's off.
Yeah.
It's like when you're looking at an AI image, your
Yeah.
brain just goes, it's not quite right, but you don't know what it is. But for people with the sight, you can clearly see that she's got goat feet.
Yeah, I might ask what is, and your sister, she travels around with you.
Ooh.
Has she got in this wonderful modern day, has she got a profession?
Sister. I'm sorry, doctor, my leg pains me. Let's just keep moving. And it kind of shuts down after that.
It's not just women.
That's amazing. So yes, you walk throughout the day. It's not quite dusk, but let's say it's about 4 o'clock and it is going to get dark fairly quickly. And you come across a clearing. And Severino Cesare hands you his gun. Do you think you can get a couple of rabbits while there's still some light? I think some meat would be good for us tonight. We're rolling logic because...
Oh no, I'm supposed to be rolling something else. Range combat? No. I'm just gonna shoot them.
Oh yeah. It's a ranged combat shot, but or a survival, whatever's works for you.
Much better. 1.
Success.
All right.
Okay, so he gives you the gun and you head out into the forest. And you go hunting little bunny foo-foo.
Oh, and on the way when I leave, I'll say to Agatha, just keep an eye on Artemisia.
Don't worry, Agatha's got...
Oh, Agatha is like... Yeah, we find someone gored by a boar out in the middle of the forest that we've been dumped in unceremoniously. Yeah.
Yep, so while Severino, you're off doing your thing, Artemisia, Agatha, and Dr. Bennett you guys help grab some brush and some bits and bobs for a fire, and Jessica will start it for you, given he's got better his father's skills than you lot combined. Yeah, and he just pulls out what's left of his pack, all the contents therein. You combine some of your bilberries that you have left over with a little humble feast, and after, what, say, about an hour, Seven Little comes back with a couple of bunnies.
And you're going to find that Agatha is actually very good at skinning and disemboweling them, because she is a clergyman's daughter and they did not have any, well,
Buns.
not a lot of servants in that household, shall we say.
Yep, so you field dress that rabbit, you sort it out, you gut it, you spit it, and you can start roasting it over the fire, and there's some water.
She does it in such a manner as though she's looking at our visitor the entire time.
Have you got Bunny Boiler on this?
No, she's just like, we have been told that there is somebody out there hunting Vaesen, and then we find this, and we're suddenly dumped unceremoniously by a goddess in the middle of a forest. And who's the first thing we ran into? A
That's been
hunter.
gored by a boar.
Yeah, and it's like,
The only thing more suspicious is a fully clothed doctor walking out of the forest towards them.
Yeah, so you guys all spend the night around the campfire, eating rabbit and leftover salami and cheese, and it's yeah. And you know what? I think tonight that's where we're going to leave it. So thank you once again to our listeners. Hope you like what we're doing. Please follow, subscribe, throw us an email. We always love to hear stuff from you. Thank you once again to Sharon, Blake, and Jip. See you all next week for the next installment of How the Hell Do We Get Out of This Forest?
Oh, nothing bad ever happens in the woods.
Nothing whatsoever.
and strangers in the woods are always kind.
This is becoming a Brothers Grimm tale. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. See ya.